Well, given that I have to, on an almost daily basis, have to deal with the madness, the lunacy of Brexit, nothing surprises me anymore. So I don't live in a political world that's got any surprises. It's unbelievably disappointing, really stupid. I was in Australia, where they've got this bonkers new Prime Minister, Morrison, who's anti-climate change. What's wonderful is his position in the polls has just collapsed. So he's going to be drummed out of office in a couple of months' time. And frankly, I think that anyone who doesn't get behind reversing this decision is going to find themselves paying a very, very heavy price at the ballot box in May and maybe subsequent to May.
And I truly believe this is a travesty, the very opposite of intelligent, enlightened planning decisions. For a start, we're talking about an industrial plant here that depends upon importation of bulk supplies from abroad and export of bulk end product abroad. Such a plant would normally be located in an industrial zone right beside a port. It wouldn't be located over 90 minutes of drive over rural, not fit for purpose roads for heavy goods vehicles, coming right through two towns with already dysfunctional traffic systems. There is a third issue which has been totally ignored in the planning and review process, and that is public safety. There is no disaster response plan, and none was considered in the review process. So a plant very similar to this in France recently had a fire. And by the way, fires are quite common in plastics factories, particularly this type of processing involving very high temperatures. They had a fire in a very similar plant in France. It took 50 specially trained firemen with special equipment, 12 hours to put the fire out. So where in the world, in Skibbereen, are we going to find 50 specially trained firemen with special equipment in the case of a disaster?
I think there's a determination in the town. And of course, Brendan made a very, very important point, which is it isn't just about this town. It's actually about bringing common sense into the planning positions right across the board environmentally. Ireland's got to decide what kind of country it is. It got this wonderful distinction last week of being potentially the most sustainable nation in the world, not in Europe, in the whole world. And yet it's carrying this awful burden of at the moment being the dirtiest nation in Europe, or the least climate-aware nation in Europe. So somehow Ireland and its representatives have got to make a decision as to what this nation's going to be, what it's going to represent, what its future is.